Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Samapprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyaama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangaye Stuštuvagum Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vriddhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarkshyo Arishthanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatir Dhadatu Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So Namaste once again everyone.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om.
Namaste Guruji.
Namaste. Namaste.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Okay, so we just started off on the next mantra and we, I think, just read the Sangati Bhashyam. We will read it again today before we start. So
Guruji, the number, page number?
Page number you want. Okay, 1 second. Anybody has got the text open?
I have 1.2.6. After that, 1.2.7.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me give the page number.
We are still in 1.2.6, the last one.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that is finished, no?
No, the other one that we didn't start.
Yes, 1.2.
Etaccha jnana rahitam karma etavat phalam avidya kama karma.
That is the 1.2.6.
Yes.
1.2.6 is ehi iti
Ehi tamahutayam.
Tamahuttam Pravahete Adrida Yajna Rupa is 1.2.7.
After the sixth, the first.
Avidyaya Mantare 1.2.9.
Yes.
Karmaninda is the subject now. Karmaninda.
Yeah. I am coming to that. Oh, no. I think we have gone.
I am not.
1 second. Kali Karali Eteshu Yascharate.
They were at 7, Guruji.
Plavahete, that mantra, that is page number 18 in my text.
That is Guruji 1.2.7.
1.2.7, yeah.
Vyahote
Plavahete Adrida Yagya Rupa Ashtadashoktam Avaram Yeshu Karma. For that we were seeing the Sangati Bhashyam.
Vinashina ityartha.
No. Etacha Jnana Rahitam Karma. page 18,
Ah,
you got this mantra, plava hete.
I have that mantra.
Before that, what is the sentence?
Ye he hite.
Etacha jnana rahitam. No. Bhashi I'm talking.
Ye tacha jnana rahitam
That is
karma.
what we started last week, last class.
Okay, I got that. Ye tacha jnana rahitam karma.
Yeah.
Etavate phalam.
Phalam avidya kama karma karyam. So we will read that now and then we will continue the discussion on that. Okay.
Okay.
Etacha
Etacha
jnana rahitam karma.
ज्ञानरहितं कर्म
Etavat phalam
एतावत् फलम्
Phalam
avidya kama karma karyam.
अविद्या काम कर्म कार्यम्
Ataha
अतः
saram
सारम्
dukkhamulam
दुःखमूलम्
iti nindyate.
इति निन्द्यते.
So just to put the whole thing in perspective, the entire discussion in the Upanishad is centered around moksha sadhana, the means for attaining moksha. And that is the subject matter of all Upanishads. But here, in Mundaka Upanishad, the speciality is here the rival contenders of moksha sadhanam are presented. Who are the rival contenders? Veda Purva Bhaga or Karma Kanda, which is otherwise labeled as Aparavidya, and Vedanta or Jnana Kanda, which is labeled as Paravidya. So the practitioners of Karma Kanda claim that moksha can be gained merely by performance of karmas, whereas the claim of Vedanta is that karma by any stretch of imagination cannot deliver moksha as its result. Because the means involved in karmas are finite, they are finite in nature, and the finite means cannot deliver the infinite, which is moksha. The maximum that karmas can do is that if and only if they are combined with upasana, meditation, they can take a jiva to Brahmaloka, where the jiva can study Upanishads from Sakshat Brahmaji himself and gain knowledge and thereby attain moksha. This in Shastric parlance is called Krama Mukti. Therefore, the aim of the Upanishad is to establish that only through knowledge, only through Atmajnanam, only through Brahmajnanam, a jiva can be liberated from the vicious cycle of samsara. The Upanishad wants to prove that Jnana Deva Kaivalyam, which is a very famous quotation of Adi Shankaracharya. So, the Upanishad goes about this process of presenting the pros and cons of karma versus jnana and starts with the pros and cons of performance of karmas. In other words, the entire discussion in the Upanishad is about the pros and cons of Aparavidya versus Paravidya. And it is leaving to the students to examine all these aspects which are being presented and come to the right conclusion about how to go about attaining moksha. That is the whole purpose of the Upanishad. Therefore, after introducing the contents of Aparavidya and Paravidya in the first section of this Mundaka, the Upanishad then proceeded to briefly enumerate the procedure for performance of Agnihotradi karmas, to highlight the difficulties involved and the challenges faced in the performance of the karmas, which are all the subject matter of Aparavidya. Then the next development was that even though there are strict rules for the performance of the karmas, which are of course very difficult to follow, if not impossible, very extremely challenging to comply with, but if a person performs those karmas as stipulated in the Shastra, then he will be rewarded with a trip to heaven to enjoy the materialistic and sense pleasures which devatas in heaven enjoy. So the positive result of the karmas was pointed out in mantra number 5 and 6. Then from this mantra 7 onwards, up to the 12th mantra, the Upanishad is going to highlight the negative aspects of karma. And in the last class, we began the discussion on the Sangati Bhashyam, introducing the 7th mantra of this section. That is the mantra 1.2.7, from where the Upanishad starts the karma ninda, pointing out the limitations of karma, highlighting the downsides of relying on the inferiority of karmas as a means for moksha. And as I mentioned, one of the main purpose of this Mundaka Upanishad is to engage in karma ninda, which we don't find in many other Upanishads. Many other Upanishads, they will not talk about karma at all, or even if they talk about karma, they will talk only in the passing. Mostly they will highlight the positive aspects of Jnana Kanda. But here, this is the speciality of Mundaka Upanishad, where it is bringing out and presenting the pros and cons, so that, you see, we are all people with very good intellectual capacity, rational thinking people. Unless the Upanishad presents something to us, the upsides and downsides, we will not be able to come to an informed decision. That is the purpose of Mundaka Upanishad. And that is what Bhashyakara says in his introductory Bhashya. He says Nindyate. So he says that hereafter the Upanishad is going to point out the drawbacks of karma by way of ninda, criticism. Then we were discussing the words etaccha jnana rahitam karma, etaccha, and this karma, this action, which is jnana rahitam karma. And I said that the word jnanam is interpreted differently at different places based on the context. Mostly in the Upanishads, this word is interpreted as Nirguna Ishwara Jnanam or Atma Jnanam. Bhagavad Gita students will remember in the 7th chapter, this word is interpreted as Saguna Ishwara Jnanam. There, Nirguna Ishwara Jnanam was called as Vijnanam. That's why 7th chapter is Jnana Vijnana Yoga, the title of that. Jnanam Saguna Ishwara Jnanam, Vijnanam Nirguna Ishwara Jnanam. So different places, the word Jnanam has got different meanings. And contextually here, we have to interpret this word Jnanam as Saguna Ishwara Upasana, meditation of Ishwara or meditation on Ishwara, the Lord with attributes. So here, in the context of this Upanishad, Jnanam means Upasana or meditation. So that's why jnana rahitam karma means a karma performed without meditation. Only kevalam karma. There is another reason why contextually this meaning is to be taken. Well, what is the context here? Aparavidya. We have not yet come to Paravidya. Upasana is also comes under Aparavidya only. Upasana will be talked about later in this section. Upasana will be first glorified with the result. Thereafterwards, Upasana also will be criticized. As I said, we must not look at these criticisms as criticism for the sake of criticism. As I said, it is presenting the pros and cons. It is to point out their limitation that both karmas and upasana cannot give moksha, the parama purushartha. And moksha in the Upanishad parlance means sadhyo mukti, not krama mukti. So therefore, jnana rahitam karma means upasana rahitam karma. These are all points we must remember. And in the Shastra, it is said that any Vedic ritual can be done along with an appropriate meditation or without meditation. Normally, all prayers, all Shruti slokas will have the initial one sloka, meditation sloka. Dhyanam. Dhyanam will be common in every sloka, every puja. Meditation is a very important part of performance of karma. Even the simple chanting of Vishnu Sahasranama is a karma, and which can be done in two different ways. One is you do Vishnu Sahasranama Parayanam, starting with Shuklam, Bharadaram, etc., and then Dhyana Slokas. Then Shrotra portion will come. Finally, Phalashruti. And finish it with Kayena Vacha, Mansendriyarva, etc. Running through the whole thing like Vande Bharat trains, high speed with only limited stops, and finish the whole Parayanam in 15 to 20 minutes. That is what normally people do. Of course, there is nothing wrong with that. One way which will give some positive result. The second method of doing Vishnu Sahasranama Parayanam is a more involved method. It is when you come to the Dhyana Slokas, starting from Kshirodhanva Pradeshe, you first tell yourself Atadhyanam. Means what? I am now going to meditate on Saguna Ishvara in the form of Mahavishnu, who is lying down in an ocean of milk, etc. So when you say this Kshirodhanva Pradeshe, that sloka, you mentally visualize. Kshira Udanvan means ocean of milk, Kshira Samudram, Kshira Sagaram. So Kshira Udanva Pradesha means Kshira Sagara Pradesha. So as even I say Dhyanam, I have to visualize the ocean. In the Vaikunta, the milky ocean. Project that image on the screen of my mind. Then I have to visualize Ananta, the limitless, Vishnu, all-pervading, Bhupadav yasya nabihi Vyadasura Nilaschandra Suryaucha Netre. I have to visualize Mahavishnu in his Vishwarupa avatara. And all these slokas, mind you, are meant for meditation, not just for chanting. So you close your eyes and you visualize all these things. In fact, those who have attended my Vishnu Sahasranamam classes, this dhyana slokas itself, I explained very detailed what each meaning of that slokas are. So that those meanings of the slokas keep in mind and bring it and visualize. And then dwell upon that form of Vishnu for a period of time. Completely meditation means what? Remove all other thoughts from your mind. Only focus on what you are meditating upon. Such a beautiful scene, right, in front of your mind. Mahavishnu lying on that sarpa. Mahalakshmi at his feet. Brahmaji coming out of the lotus of his nabhi. All that you visualize, and this it will take some time. It's not that you just go on, high speed narration. That is doing, and then once you have done this, maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever time you take, you enjoy that whole thing. When meditating, enjoy that beautiful scene. Some people, even 1 hour, they will meditate only on this. So that our mind is fully absorbed in that Saguna Ishvara form. This is the Upasana part of Vishnu Sahasranam. Then you go to the praise of Vishnu, Vishvam Vishnu Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Praduhu Prabhu. Like that you go on. Now this you cannot do in 15-20 minutes. But normally what we do, we don't practice the meditation. We just chant the sloka. So it will become what? Kevala karma. Karma without meditation. And that type of karma, Bhashyakara calls here as Jnana Rahitam karma. Religious activity devoid of meditation. And suppose you meditate on Vishnu instead of chanting those slokas mechanically, and as even you mentally repeat the words, Vishnu comes in front of your mind. Meghashyamam Pita Kausheyavasam, etc. And you remain fully absorbed in that thought of that Vishnu for a length of time. And after practicing Vishnu Dhyanam, thereafter, you chant Sahasranama, then it will come under karma with meditation. It could be Vachika karma, even Manasa karma. You need not chant or do Vishnu Parayanam loudly. You can chant Vishnu Sahasranama in your mind. A mental karma you can do. If you do that way, it will be Jnana Sahitam karma. Karma with Upasana. And it is not only Vishnu Sahasranam, it's only an example I gave. Any karma you take. In fact, in the puja books and all that, they will give only one dhyana sloka. But if you look at the original script, in the prayoga, all this, each puja has got a prayoga, means the procedure how to perform. There you will find so many dhyana slokas are there for each devata. If you do Ganesh Chaturthi puja, there will be some 5-10 dhyana slokas for Ganesha. So these are all things we have to understand about karma with upasana. Now the question is what? What is the difference between Vishnu Sahasranama Parayanam with meditation and without meditation? What will happen? For that, Chandogya Upanishad gives the answer. Yadeva vidyaya karoti shraddhaya upanishada tadeva viryavattaram bhavati. When you do mere Parayanam, it will give you inferior phalam. When you do Parayanam with meditation, preceded by meditation, then it will give you superior result. Virya vittaram bhavati. Vattaram, taraf pratyaya is used. That is comparative degree. Tamaf pratyaya is used for superlative. So compared to good, this will give better result. So Bhashyakara says jnana rahitam karma, or we can say dhyana rahitam karma also. Saguna Ishvara dhyana rahitam karma, upasana rahitam karma. And we have seen another word used for this type of karma, that is kevalam karma. So etaccha jnana rahitam karma bhavati. And what is the nature of the result that comes out of that kind of karma? Etavat phalam avidya kama karma karyam. Etavat phalam means this much result, which was promised in the previous mantra. What was the result promised? Swarga Loka was promised, if you remember. Yehi, welcome with pleasant, comfortable words was promised. Glorification was promised. Archana was promised. So this karma which is done without upasana has got at the highest this much result only. Means what? It is not that the karma is going to directly, because we saw that the oblations offered are converted, or as though converted into devatas and all. The punyas which we earn, the punyam which we earn, accumulated punyam, the currency, that will buy us a ticket to Swargaloka. So that much was the result as described in the 5th and 6th mantra. So the highest result that you can get, you will be taken to heaven. And all these phalams are of what nature? Bhashyakara says karma karyam. They are all the result of karma. And how does the karma come? It comes because of kama, desire. Karma is caused by desire. And how did this desire come? Avidya. The desire has come because of sheer ignorance. And how do we know it is born of ignorance? Apart from the Shastra Pramanam, which is there, we can also analyze the connection. When does one do karma? Let us analyze. There are two reasons why a person does a karma. The primary reason is the desire, because it is a desire which prompts a person to perform action. A desire for gaining artha or kama purusharthas is the cause for doing karmas. We can include dharma purushartha also. You want to get, build a house, buy a car, accumulate wealth, get children married. So many, artha and kama purusharthas there. I want to lead a very comfortable life. For that, do this puja, do that puja. some amount of punyam will be earning, and that punyam will give you that comfortable life. So primarily, desires prompt action. This is the connection between karma and kama, desire. And in order to fulfill the desire, he does karma mistakenly taking himself to be a karta, a doer. I am a doer. I have got doership. So I do this karma. And this arises because he earnestly takes himself to the body, mind, sense complex, totally ignorant of the reality that he is consciousness, Atma Swarupam, Brahma Swarupam, which is beyond all karmas and desires. By his very nature, he is akarta, abhokta, non-doer and non-enjoyer. But due to his ignorance of this fact, he takes himself to be karta and bhokta. And this is what is called fundamental ignorance, avidya. Therefore, karma is a product of avidya, ignorance, and ignorance-born delusion. What is the ignorance-born delusion? That karma will result in adrishta phalam in the form of punya, and non-performance of karma will lead to pratyavaya papam. And this misconception also has its basis in the ignorance-born conclusion that I am karta. Because karma is possible when the body is there, and the body is the result of punya papa, and therefore indirectly karma is the result of punya papa. So first karma results in punya papam, and indirectly karma is the result of punya papam. That is how the cycle continues. This is how punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam cycle continues. Therefore, karma is the product of all three of them. Ignorance-born conclusion that I am karta, kama, desire, and also karma phalam, which is punya papa. And therefore, Bhashyakara says, kama karma or avidya karyam. And by the word avidya, we can take the meaning of ignorance, or we can even take the meaning as avidya janya adhyasa. Adhyasa means what? Superimposition. Superimposition is assuming oneself to be something which that person is not. So adhyasa of considering oneself to be a jiva, a karta. One is Paramatma, but then we superimpose jivatvam on this Paramatma and consider ourselves to be a jiva and a karta. That also can be referred to by the word avidya. And these avidya, kama, karma are samsara causing factors. And therefore, karma is in the realm of samsara only. And from that we come to know one more important thing. Since karma is only a product of avidya, karma can never destroy avidya. And without destruction of avidya, there can be no moksha. Avidya has to be destroyed by jnanam only, or by vidya only. It cannot be, avidya cannot be destroyed by karma. So we have to go to the fundamental concept of what is moksha all about. Moksha is getting rid of my samsara. What is the cause of samsara? It is a misconception about my own self. Therefore, if I have to remove that misconception, if I have to remove that ignorance, I have to get knowledge. Any amount of karma will not remove that misconception. In fact, more karmas will actually reinforce that misconception. That is why Bhashyakara says, Etavat phalam avidya kama karma karyam bhavati. Okay. So what? He says, Ataha asaram dukkha moolam iti nindyate. Ataha, therefore, asaram. Saram means pith, P-I-T-H, pith, I mean substance. Asaram means pithless, unsubstantial. So saram means that which is having substance.
Essence.
Sorry?
Essence, it can be used.
Essence, you can say. No, more than essence. I would put it as substance. Yeah, you can say, essence is also, in one way, you can call it essence. But substance is not there. It is finite. How? Because we have seen in Bhagavad Gita, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. Whatever is produced will be destroyed. If karma produces punyam, it will be destroyed by experiencing the punyam. If karma produces papam, pratyavaya papam, that papam also will be destroyed by experiencing the papam. And there is a Chandogya Vakya also. Yata ye karma jito lokah kshiyate, evameva amutra punya jito lokah kshiyate. So, just like the punya papa or kshiyate, destroyed, perish. So Bhashyakara says, therefore, being the product of avidya kama karma, it is asaram. It is without any substance, without any essence. So this is one way we can understand the word asaram. And the word asaram can be interpreted differently also. Since it is a product of avidya, it is mithya also. So the word asaram has got two meanings. Being the product of karma, it is anityam. And being the product of avidya, it is mithya. And not only it is finite in nature, it is dukkha moolam also. It is the cause of sorrow. How do we say it is the cause of sorrow? Especially when it is going to lead to heaven. We have just now seen heaven is a source of sukham. So where is the question of dukkham? How do you say it is source of sorrow? For that the answer is, all these pleasures are potential sources of sorrow. Behind the so-called sukham is dukkham only. All those pleasures are what? Dukkha hetu. How do you say that? How do you say they are potential source of sorrow? For that again you have to remember Gita. Every source of joy is a source of sorrow when it leaves us. It is temporarily, it gives sukham. But at the same time, at the time of doing the karma, the difficulties and challenges give you dukkha. But you say you bear with that dukkha because you feel that eventually it will give you sukham in Swargaloka. As I said, Sandhya Vandanam. morning 4 o'clock, you have to get up, take bath and do the Sandhya Vandanam, Pratha Sandhya before sunrise. You see everybody around is sleeping till 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. You have to get up at 4 o'clock. And this is a very big change when you go to study in residential course in Gurukula. You are not used to this. But you go there, you have to do this. I mean, do this means it's all voluntary. Suppose you sleep till 7 o'clock in Gurukulam, nobody is going to ask you why you are sleeping. But that is not the purpose. You need not come to Gurukulam for that. You can sleep at home itself, isn't it? Attending puja 5:30 in the morning in the temple is something you start the day with, This all dharmic way of leading life. So whatever you might have done previously, it doesn't matter. Once you have taken interest in Vedanta, you have come to the Gurukulam, now try to make the changes in you. So first of all, first dukkham is doing the karma itself is not easy. Even otherwise, suppose you don't take another example. So many things are required. And invariably, I tell you, you will sit for doing the puja and will be something you want to do the Naivedyam, for which the coconut has to be broken, you will have forgotten to do that. You will have to get up from the puja, go break the coconut, bring it back and all that. And it's dukkha hetu. You have been doing the puja, getting up itself at the old age will be a challenge. So, any karma has got aspects of dukkha also. This is while performing. But suppose you bear with this dukkha. As I said, eventually you think, okay, let me bear with this dukkha. Eventually it is going to give me pleasure, happiness, Swargaloka. Good. You go to Swargaloka. Sometime it may give you sukham. But what happens? When punyam gets exhausted, you have to depart from Swargaloka to Bhuloka. And Bhuloka life is dukkha mishritvam only, isn't it? Therefore, any experiential sukham is sandwiched between two slices of dukkham only. And that was the message we saw in the Bhagavad Gita. Chine puндye martyalogam vishanti. So there is nothing called permanent sukham except when you get moksha. Therefore, Bhashyakara says dukkha moolam, dukkha karanam. So from etacha up to dukkha moolam, we can put it in inverted commas. And then iti. Iti means so saying. That is, saying that performance of karma without upasana is a product of ignorance and desire. And the result of such desire, such karma is finite, pitless, devoid of substance. And even if the immediate result of the karma is a life in Swargaloka, which will give interim sukham, but being finite in nature, eventually it will cause sorrow only. It is the cause of dukkham only, dukkha moolam. So saying, iti means this is what the whole thing, this is what the Upanishad wants to say. So saying, nindyate, the karma is criticized. Criticized by whom? We can say Shrutya, by the Upanishad. So in this manner, this karma is being criticized in the next mantra. 1.2.7. Now we will read the mantra. Okay. Plavahete.
Pravahete.
Once more. Plavahete.
Plavahete.
Adridah.
Adridah.
Yajna Rupaha
यज्ञरूपः
Asthiraha.
Ashtadashoktam
अष्टादशोक्तम्
Avaram
अवरम्
Eshu Karma
अशेषु कर्म
Etat Etat Shreyo
एतच्छ्रेयो
श्रेयो
Ye Binandanti
विनन्दन्ति
Mudaha
मूढाः
Jara Mrityum
जरामृत्युम्
Te Punarevapi
ते पुनरेवापि
Yanti.
Yanti.
So I will give the Padacheda first. Plava hi ete adrida yajna rupa hai अष्टादश uktam avaram yeshu karma एतत् श्रेयः ये अभिनंदन्ति मूढ़ाः जरा मृत्युम ते पुनः एव अपि यन्ति. So first I will summarize this mantra. We have to remember three technical words which we have used before also. Karakam, Kriya and Phalam. Phalam means a result. Kriya means an action. And Karakam means the accessories. And accessories are the factors which are required to generate the action. Sanskrit students will know what is Karakas are. So Karakas produces Kriya action and Kriya produces Phalam. Thus Karakam is the grandfather, Kriya is the father or mother, you can say. Phalam is the child. And what do you mean by accessories or factors? We have discussed before that various accessories are required for an action. And this can be easily derived from observing any sentence in any language. If you take any sentence in any language, you can find that a sentence requires a verb. Without a verb, there is no sentence. And a verb always generally indicates, of course, there are exceptions, verbs generally indicate an action. And we can never write a verb without a subject. Therefore, verb or action is possible only when a subject is there. And not only subject, thereafter object also comes. Suppose I just say a word eats. If I say that word eats, it will not make any sense unless I say who eats. So I will say Rama eats. Eats is the verb, Rama is the subject. Rama eats means what? What does he eat? Suppose I say Rama eats fruits. Verb is there, subject is there, object has also come. Now the next question is, with what does he eat? So verb, subject, object and instrument has come. Maybe he uses the fork, knife and all that to eat fruit. I don't know. Next question will be, where is he eating? The location. So I say he is eating in a restaurant. Thus, in any sentence, all the non-verbal words or accessories or factors, they are called karakam. Subject is a karakam. Object is a karakam. Instruments are karakam. Place is a karakam. So in the Sanskrit language, There are 6 karakas which are mentioned. 7 vibhaktis are there. The 6th vibhakti is not a karaka. 1 to 5 and 7 are karakas. And various prepositions indicate whether it is subject or object or instruments. And this in the grammar, in Sanskrit grammar, is indicated by different case endings. Every word will have an ending which will indicate what type of karaka it is. I'm not going into too much details of Sanskrit grammar. Therefore, verb indicates action. Without accessories, karakams, kriya cannot exist. Therefore, karaka janya kriya and kriya janma janyam phalam. Now, this mantra is talking about the karakam, kriya and phalam of a Vaidika karma. So that is all this we have to understand. What is the context in which we are talking all this? So the karakas are talked about in the first quarter of the mantra. Plava hi ete adrida yajna rupa hai. Yajna rupa hai means yajna karaka hai. The factors which are constituting yajna. The factors which are responsible for yajna. They are called yajna rupa hai. The constituents of yajna. Like what? The yajna kunda, homa kunda is there. That is required for yajna. Material, the havis is there. Whatever we are offering. Priests are required. Yajamana, who is performing, the subject of the yajna, he is required. His wife is required. Because in the Shastra, we cannot perform any, even Agnihotra, the karma, we saw, spouse has to accompany. It is joint karma. Shraddha karma, without wife, you cannot perform Shraddha karma. Then fuel for the fire is required. There's so many things are required for a yajna, and they are all collectively called karakas. And what is the nature of those karakas? He says, ete adrida, fragile. They are not so sturdy that they can remain forever. Therefore, they are plavaha. Bhashyakara will say plavaha means vinashinaha, perishable. So, yajna rupa hai, the accessories of yajna rupa hai, are plavaha, impermanent, perishable. Of course, the popular meaning of the word plava means a raft, a boat, or even, you have seen sometimes in the rivers and all, float is there, they will join many logs of wood and then it will be a float, the fisherman and all will be going with a oar and all that.
Catamaran.
Yeah, catamaran also we can say, yeah. A small wooden structure made up of some wooden pieces for crossing some distance in water, where the depth is not so much. You cannot take that raft in the ocean and then go, where the depth is there. Only small, like in a small river and all, you can use that. And that boat will be very, very fragile, perishable. It can, first of all, it cannot be used for very long journeys. It can be used only for a small distance. And not only that, it is all, joined with ropes and things like that and all. And after a few uses, with water and all that, they will all become very weak. The wood will start warping, so that will perish. Then he will make another one like that. Very, less expensive as compared to a proper boat, but a bit perishable rather. And here the mantra is comparing this yajna rupa, these accessories, for all the rituals also as perishable. So the idea is they themselves are not infinite. All these accessories are finite only. They are adrida, infirm, weak. Since they are weak and therefore they are perishable. And the mantra talks about Ashtadasha Yajna Rupa hai. Means what? 18 accessories. But it does not give any details. So, what will happen? A usual human tendency, We will not look at the main message. We will say, oh, what are these 18 accessories? We want the count. Whether 18 or 20 or why Upanishad is saying Ashtadasha, why it can't be Vimsha, and all that question will come. And Bhashyakara, Karuna Murthy sympathizes with our difficulties. Later on in the Bhashyam, he will make it clear for us, easy for us. So in his view, of course, whether it is 18 or 1, it does not make any difference. Because the Tatparyam of the Upanishad is not to list out all the accessories, as all of them are of the same nature, adrida, infirm, weak, therefore perishable. So Bhashyakara takes only the main 2 accessories for any yajna, which can have no substitute. And they are Yajamana, his wife, and the 16 priests who are required for any big or even a medium-sized yajna. He doesn't go into all the other accessories that we discussed. Okay. So if you recall, in one of the earlier classes, we have discussed how priests from all 4 Vedas are required for performing the yajnas. For Agnihotra, you don't require 18 people, but some big karma where so many ahutis are to be done, so many mantras are to be chanted. In those karmas like Ashwamedha Yaga, Putrakameshti Yaga, in those karmas, 16 priests are required. We will see all these details when we discuss the Bhashya. Okay. So, Ashtadasha Yajna Rupa hai. And he says, and the mantra says, Uktam Avaram Yeshu Karma. Sentence from a grammatical point is incomplete, so we have to supply the word Ashritam. So to complete the sentence, Uktam Avaram Yeshu Karma Ashritam. These 18 perishable factors, Yeshu, upon which karma is Uktam, is said to be Ashritam, resting. So karma is resting on or dependent upon these 18 factors, which are perishable because of their fragility. This is the meaning. And one more adjective is given for karma, avaram. Avaram means what? Inferior. Karma which is inferior. What is the meaning of the word inferior here? Bhashyakara will say, avaram means inferior because it is not accompanied by upasana. So, kevala karma is inferior. So, here again, we have to understand that it is a relative term. Upasana rahita karma is inferior in relation to upasana samuchita karma. Because karma without upasana will give relatively inferior result. Karma as such is not inferior, relatively inferior. So karma without the support of meditation is inferior. So avaram karma, which is without meditation, is dependent upon these 18 factors which are perishable in nature because of being fragile. So that is the meaning plavahi yete. The next line of thinking here, the karakas are so the line of thinking here is that karakas are perishable, therefore karma will be perishable, because of which karma phala will be perishable. More of that we will see in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasichyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Dhanyavad. Thank you all very much.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
Thank you, Guruji. Namaste,
Thank
Pranam.
you.
Very nice
Thank you.
class. Thank you, Guruji. Nice
Thank
to
you,
be listening to
Guruji.
the
Hari Om.
nice to be imbibing the Sanskrit part of it as well.
In fact, Bhashyam class, every Sanskrit prayoga has to be explained.
Yes, Guruji.
But that requires the students also to have a fairly good degree of Sanskrit knowledge. That's why, Bhashyam class very rarely people teach for general public, But then my Swami Paramatma, Sadananda used to tell, teach Bhashyam, because they will get exposed to Sanskrit, even if some curiosity will be there, okay, let me learn Sanskrit. Some people may actually start doing it, so in order to inspire them. So you'll say,
Yes.
but don't go deep into it. In the sense that, otherwise the other people, some people may understand, but if you go deep into samasa vigraha and, all those kind of things, others will get bored. So we have to strike a balance somewhere. Anyhow,
Thank you,
but
Guruji. Hari
Bhashya
Om.
without Sanskrit is actually, it will be
Mm.
like eating curd rice without pickles.
Good,
Bland.
good. Hari Om, Guruji.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Thank you. Yes, Sitaramji.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You have said plavaha, but it doesn't.
Plava hai nahi.
Yeah.
Adrida hai, I said. Plava hi ete.
Yeah, plavahi. It just says that there is a hyphen and va. Pla is not there.
Oh, that must be a printing mistake or something.
Yes,
But
true.
okay.
The letter is incomplete.
Letter is incomplete. That is must
Yes.
be, when I have copied from the original, copied and pasted, then I must have left out. You should come correct it.
Okay.
Please correct it as plava hete.
Okay.
It's instead of plava, instead of that half pa, it is just a stroke,
Stroke.
little hyphen kind of
So,
a thing.
there is
Hyphen
that
va,
copy paste problem. I can realize that.
hyphen va.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a
Okay.
copy paste problem, but you can correct it. Please, plava, you do.
I'll do
Sometimes
it.
you do copy paste, it happens.
I'll do it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
Good.
So seems no question. Heavy class.
No. When I am going through all this Agnihotra, the complete procedure, it reminds me of my military training. It is far more tough.
Yes. See, any karma is tough. I tell you. No karma
It's
is easy.
absolutely regimental.
Yeah, absolutely regimental.
There also the day starts very early, ends very late.
Absolutely.
And when you hit the bed, finished. You
Correct.
really go off to sleep.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. That is why, over a period of time, people have stopped doing all this. Only very few people we find. For example, I told you every karma has to be accompanied by spouse. If the man is willing, the wife will not be getting up. He'll say, forget all your karma business and all that.
True.
I want to sleep till 7 o'clock. What will you do? You have to
that's
go to
why
office only at 10 o'clock. So why you are getting at 4 o'clock and doing all this Agnihotra business and all?
this Veda Pathashala, there are boys from 8 years up to 15, 16,
Yeah.
different age groups.
Yeah.
So there it is very easy to sort of acclimatize and grow up in that environment.
And also women also, you know, from childhood that they are used to that in the olden days, they will be made to work at home. There is no Betty and all business. No, nothing doing. All these are all today. We give so much importance to our children than what we give to our parents, rather. Right?
Now Nari Shakti is taken over everything.
Nari Shakti, another aspect. Because of that, Nari Shakti has taken over everything now. Anyhow, as I always say one thing, all Kali Yuga Lakshana, that's all. That's it to go like that only.
Very good. Thank you very much, Guruji.
Hari Om.
Namaskaram.
Thank you.
Hari Om, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Good night.
Hari Om Guruji.
See you
Thank you,
next
Guruji.
week. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you.